Hi, Joe Doyle here. As a former bricklayer turned property investor, I would not be where I am today if I didn't first learn the art of business. Nowadays, a big part of my life is helping other tradesmen grow their business and create wealth by sharing my knowledge, insights and experience. Welcome to the Tradesman Survival Guide podcast. All of the strategies discussed in my podcasts are taken directly from my book, The Tradesman Survival Guide, which is available at www.joedoyle.ie/TSG. TSG, of course, being Tradesman Survival Guide.
Hi, Joe.
Well, Tim, are we winning today, my friend?
We are. We're winning most days, to be fair.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that. Will we make our 500 today?
We shouldn't be too far off, I'd say.
Okay, we've plenty of time left. There's plenty of life left in the day as well, anyways, to hit that target, you know?
There is. No, overall, we're not doing too bad, to be fair. I'm going to say the last time we spoke, we were finishing up a project where I was getting paid every week, which was great. So now I'm going to call it, I'm back to normal, so I'm kind of watching the pennies now, you know?
Right, so what, you only getting paid every month or something, are you?
Yeah, kind of as stage payments go, like, you know?
Yeah, it's a normal job, like.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Unfortunately.
that's just, unfortunately,
No,
that's just the name of the game that we play, isn't it?
That's it.
How did you manage to configure that one the last day where you're getting paid every week?
That was when I went in to look at the job. That was the owner of the house's terms.
Oh, really?
That he said he'll buy all the stuff and he'll pay me every week. And I said, great, here are the rates.
Right. Oh, was a labour only job, like?
Yeah, more or less. And whatever material I had to buy then that worked on his account, I just billed him for him. It was great.
Oh, that's fine.
You know, there was only more of those. It was brilliant.
Yeah, it's simple. But like, did you find that you were losing a bit of margin? Did you?
A little bit on the material, but like what I did was I brought in more labour then. You know, I was taking fellas off the jobs then. I did all right out of it, Joe. To be fair, I upgraded. I'm going to say most of my tools. Anything that needed upgrade, I bought tools that I would have never bought. Like laser levels now and Kangos and stuff like that. I normally rented them, but I said, you know what, no, fuck it, we have the money, we'll buy them.
Yeah.
And
the money that came from that job.
Yeah, and I still had a fair whack of it left, like, by the time I was finished, like.
Oh, that's good going then. Yeah, that's nice. So all the profits went back on tools, like.
Yeah. And we bought the second van.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Even though that's been paid by the week, but you know, so.
Sorry, say that last one again.
Even though that's been paid by the month, like we still, like, you know, we put the VAT down and paid the insurance and all that shit.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. It's good. It's progress. Just don't become a tool junkie now, yeah.
Oh no, I have to stop somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Don't go down that road at all. Some lads just never ever stop buying more tools. And listen, it's great to have the best of tools and all that, but like what I'd say to lads is look at how far you got without those tools. So
I agree.
Don't spend all your profits on them. Come here, can I dive in and just ask you a few questions here, and then we'll answer all your queries. So I've got a little checklist here that I like to just cover here. We've got a new question that the last day we were chatting, I would have asked you these questions, but I've got a new question added onto that list there that I'm going to ask you now. What is the highest bank balance you had in the company account before starting with ourselves?
The highest bank balance was probably about $9,000.
In the company account now, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so today, being the day that it is, what is the pipeline at today? How long have you got?
I have until the end of October.
Right, pipeline. I'm just going to note this here now. End of October, yeah. So that is July, August, September, October. Okay, so we've got 4 months in the pipeline today. Okay, what is the bank balance like today?
Healthy. It's up to 30. A lot better than it was fucking 3 months ago.
Yeah, good man.
It's at about, I think it's about 32.
Good man. And what are you owed in?
I'm owed in 15. Plus we're starting another job on Monday, so I'll be taking a deposit of $26,000 for that.
Okay,
so,
well, we won't count that because it's not in, right? And of the 32k that we're talking about here, that's in the main account. That's not in the milestone account.
No, there's 28 in the milestone account, and then the rest is just I'm going to call it the zero figure.
Yes. So milestone 1 we done 13.5, was it? No, we done
We
12,
did
wasn't it?
yeah,
Let me see.
No, we did the whole
14.5.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did we do on milestone 2?
We're up to 28, so we did 13.5.
14.5. That's Tim. You're playing a fucking stormer there, my friend. You know that?
Yeah.
And
no,
did we do anything on milestone 3?
My next one is milestone 3.
Oh, sorry. You know.
Whatever the next one is my number 3.
Yeah. Give me 1 second there now. So basically, what we're doing is we're putting you down for milestone 3 at 13.5, and we're putting you down for milestone 2 at 14.5, and milestone number 1 was you're not a member. A member at this time. So
yeah.
Let's update that. That's a serious result, man. You know that?
Yeah, no, I'm fairly tough now. To be fair,
Yeah, man, you're fucking playing a stormer. That's brilliant. That is fucking great news, man. Excuse the language.
Let's just keep the momentum going. That's all it is.
Yeah. Did you work out your daily break-even point?
I did. It's on the. I have the break-even sheets done. They're just not shared into the shared folder. I think it's about 600 and something.
Don't worry. Listen, I'll dive in here and see can I see anything.
Yeah, no, look, I'm going to say as long as I'm making money, I'm not going to say I'm not too bothered about the break-even, but like I'm making every day, and some days I'm making more than the 500, so I'm just plowing ahead as an average, like, you know.
Just looking at that there, Tim, you're cleaning up, you know. The last time we spoke was about a month and a half ago, and at that point in time you had 16, you had 8 grand in the bank and 8 grand owed in, and so you basically had a cash value of 16 grand. Never mind what you had set aside, because we don't, like, once that leaves the account and it goes into the savings account, we forget about it. It doesn't exist, you know. So
exactly.
You've gone from 16 grand to 47 grand in 6 weeks. Holy fuck, man, that's serious.
Whatever, yeah, well, I mean, we're churning out the work, like, so.
Yeah. What's gone down there, just the one thing what's gone down is the pipeline has gone down from 5 months to 4 months. And I would like to have seen that gone up from 5 to 6, if I be honest, you know?
Yeah, well, like, what I'm going to say, like, we're starting one Monday, we're starting another one in the middle of July, we're starting another one at the start of August. It's September is what I'm just trying to line up. I have fucking loads out the priced. I'm just waiting for something to come back. And everyone has been told that unless we start in September, you want to have your house back for Christmas.
Yeah.
And if you're happy for us to upset your house for Christmas, we'll start in October.
Yes. If they don't want the house back for Christmas, you'll start in October, is it?
Yeah.
And you're getting plenty of inquiries in, are you?
Oh, every day.
I would say you're probably underestimating that 4-month pipeline there, you know that?
As in, like, what I've done, like, I actually filled out the last contract there last night, and I think the finish date on the contract is the 17th of October or something like that. Now, I'm going to say we also do the fitting of the kitchens for, like, you know, the paneling centre in Dublin.
Yes.
Well, they work off the main builders providers here in Cork, and we're their main fitters. So coming up to Christmas, that's going to ramp up tenfold as well. Like, so we're probably going to be fitting 2 or 3 kitchens a week, and like off a kitchen, like we charge $250 a day plus the VAT to fit, which I know you're saying, like we say when we go back to the break-even point, that it doesn't work out, but people don't want to pay €350 for a fella to fit a kitchen, because the going rate down here at the moment is $250.
But can we just have a little chat just about that for a minute, right?
Yeah.
So there's one question I didn't ask you there, just about the money. Do you owe out any significant amount of money today?
No, I probably owe the builders providers $1,500, $2,000, something like that. Right.
Okay. So there's nothing there because it's looking there. You've got good money in the account and you've got good money owed in. But obviously, if you owe something out, that will diminish that. So look, you're the fitter for the paneling centre in your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Right. Now, judging by those numbers there, you've made 30 grand or so in 2 months, right? Which is brilliant. Like, so fair play to you on that, right? But why would you go doing work that's going to take you away from that level of earnings just because someone says you can only make $250 a day? Like, why would you want to put yourself in that position if you don't want me asking that?
Well, what it is I have two fellas floating all the time doing the smaller jobs. Like they'd be doing the decking and stuff like that, and then there's three of us then that would work on the extensions, and then we bring in the likes of the electricians, plumbers, masons, whatever. So I have these two fellas, and they go around the city and they fit the kitchens. They do, we say, go into your house and they'll do a laminate floor, they'll do a bit of skirting, they'll hang a couple of doors, you know, they do all the smaller second fix jobs that we'd have. So that's their, I'm going to say that's the team I have for them is that they fit the kitchens, they do the second fix, you know. So I want to say as such, like, I'm still doing what I'm doing. I'm managing whatever jobs are going on around the place, the 3 or 4 jobs that we'd have on. And then, like, I have 2 lads that be on the extension with me, and then they'd have the 2 lads that are floating about. I'm
just thinking, like, how much are these guys costing you per day? Like, I don't know how you're going to be making any money off these guys at that rate, you know?
They're costing me less than what is it? Fuck it, just less than 300
for the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Right. So look, what I think we need to do here, right? Because this is a great result, anyways, Tim, since we last spoke. So 100% hats off to you. Fair play. I'm proud of you, man. Right? 100% proud of you on this, right? But what we need to do is we need to just tighten up a little bit more, right? So if you had those figures included on that make or break sheet, I could look in and I could tell you exactly. You could do this yourself. You would know exactly if you're making money with these guys and if you're not making money with these guys, and then you would know if you're not making money how much you're losing. So what I think is the next level for yourself here is to get that make or break sheet updated on the shared drive, and just give me a little heads up when you've done that so I can go in and check it, and we can review it ahead of our next call. Because as your business grows and progresses, and you've gone pretty much from not making anywhere near this level of profit to making significant profit pretty much straight away, well, as long as I've got to know you. So really my question is, why the fuck weren't you doing this level of profit all the time?
Because I didn't have as many people employed. I think that's the reason. There was only me and one other lad, and we just do the extensions. Like we say, when the mates come in, we go off, we do something else. I'm going to say my plan all along wasn't to take on so many people or try and run 3 or 4 extensions at the one time, but fuck it, we'll only make money once, Yeah,
and you seem to be doing a good job for anyways.
So like this job where we were getting paid every week, like I found myself down there managing that, because that was a fairly big job. Like the value of that job was about 330 grand finished price,
Yes.
So when I was down there all the time, and then the other 2 were floating about, or I had one of them and he was doing bits and pieces, and then the kitchens came back in, and I said, you know what, no, I just take on another fella now, and I need them do that. I manage them kind of, I'm going to say, over the phone as such, like with a checkup, either in the morning or at the end of the day, and just fucking work the extensions then. And like if I lose the smaller jobs, I just get rid of them,
Yeah, definitely. Well, look, this is what I'm thinking, right? So, great turnaround in a short space of time. I said, fair play to you on that. In order to sustain that, you need to make sure that there's no secrets hiding anywhere in the business. There's no secrets hiding anywhere within the numbers of the business. So, really, we need to just notch up the processes to gain clarity on the business right away. And the way we do that is by just getting you to spend literally 25 minutes sitting down and completing your shared make or break. And then the next time that we're having a call, rather than saying, yeah, I'm making money on this fella and that fella, and me believing you where you're making money or not making money, I can see it with my own eyes. And I can ask you a few questions, and there's always a little bit of tweaking or a little bit of tightening up on it. And that you have these numbers, off the top of your head. It's 1,500 quid a day break even point. Boom. This fella, I need to charge about a 300 a day. This fella 220 a day. This fella 320 a day. You have these numbers so that if anybody asks you to do a job, you just decide if you're doing it or not doing it. I just don't know if it's going to be worth your while doing these 250 a day jobs.
Right.
Because like you're going to be making so much margin on one set of works, and then best case scenario you're going to be making 100 quid on these type of works a day. You're better off scratching those type of works and foregoing that 100 quid a day to just give you clarity and able to allow you to drive on with the more profitable type of work.
Okay.
Do you follow the thinking on that?
I do, 100%. Like, I'd be thinking, you know, like you're saying, like if it comes to drop that and drop the 100 quid, but like my thinking would be keep that, make the 100 quid, and if needs be, take on another fella to plow ahead with more profitable works again, like, you know.
Yeah, well, look, at this point in time, you're in the headspace where you're willing to take on more men, which is great if you can get them, and you seem to be able to get them, whereas most people are struggling with the labour shortage at the minute. And bear in mind, every time that you take on another staff member, the amount of work that you can get done diminishes, and the amount of management that you need to do increases.
Yes.
So it's a toss up from one or the other. Like if you stop doing those 100 quid a day profit jobs, how many more 500 quid a day profit jobs
am I losing?
Could you do? Yeah,
I hear you.
And now see here's what we're doing here, Tim. We're not firefighting here. Everything is going well in the business, so we're just making a few tweaks to finely tune it and optimize it that little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, it's brilliant. Are you on the tools yourself much?
Maybe 1 or 2 days a week, just I'm going to say just to show them this is what I expect every week, like, you know.
Okay, so that's I would have no objection to that. Like,
yeah.
It would be wrong of me. It would be wrong of me to tell you to change anything that you're doing when we can see that such great numbers there. So the only thing that I want to tell you to do is just get a bit more clarity and understanding on the numbers.
Yeah.
That's all. Because you can make money fast, but you can also lose it fast. So what we want you to do is, if something stops working, we want you to cut it right away, rather than eating into the profits that's getting made on another job.
Yeah.
That's the trick. You know, be optimised at all times, you know. But no, great stuff. Where do you find is the biggest challenge for yourself at the minute?
I wanted, like, when we spoke, like, I actually cancelled last month's call because my wife was sick.
Is she okay?
So
back on the right side of things now?
Yeah, she's fine. So I was kind of, I'm going to say, doing the family thing a bit more, like doing the school runs, and then I go to work for a couple of hours, go back to collect it from the schools, go home, do the homework, and then I show up at the end of the day at work, like, you know. So that was kind of took about a month out of my things before she got back to where she should be. So that was probably my biggest challenge, was trying to do that, then do the paperwork. But I think, like, since I started with you, I'm at home most days now by 6 o'clock. One night a week I do the paperwork, and then again, like, if I'm not on the tools, or I can take an hour and sit in the car park and pull out the book and start the paperwork. You know, the time management has increased a lot.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to say my home life isn't suffering as much.
Yes.
I'd love to give up the Saturdays, but you just can't at the moment. So that's probably my biggest thing at the moment, is probably the Saturdays, and more so now because it's summer, and you know, you could disappear for the day with the kids, go down to the beach, but look, it is what it is.
Yeah. Look, what I would say to yourself there, Tim, right now, like, do you have much cash reserves outside of the business?
What do you mean?
Have you got any lump sum saved outside of the business?
I have cash all the time, but I try to sift it back into the business.
No, because we're having a conversation about how much money you have at your disposal at the minute, right? And it's all about cash in the business, right? So if you've got 200 grand in a personal bank account, that will completely overrule what I'm about to say to you, because I don't know if you have, right? But the thing is,
no, I don't.
Right, so you are making more money than you have ever made before, right? And 18 months of this, and you can have more money. You will have more money than most people will ever, most small builders will ever accumulate in their whole life. So what I would say is, you know, when you hear people saying, like, I seen something there the other day, and it said, it was on Instagram, it said, go dark for 6 months. Don't go to any parties, don't go out drinking with your friends, don't go to this, just knuckle down on your business for 6 months. And, you know, I don't know what the tagline was, but basically said you can get great results, right? And, like, you've been running this business for, how long are you in business now?
Since 2013 with a year off.
Okay, so that's 8 years minus 1, right? So you're 6 to 7 or whatever happens. Look, 5 years plus. You're in business 5 years plus. You've never had a Saturday off, or you probably couldn't take a Saturday off without feeling it elsewhere. You're now at the best you've ever been. So there is a little bit of sacrifice that needs to get made. And if you keep this going, you're gonna have a significant lump sum of money in a short space of time. So it's about just keeping the nerve, is what I would say, and just keep on track as to what you're doing. Even though it's not for me to tell anybody to don't be going to the beach with the kids on a Saturday or a Sunday, but you're just cleaning up now. So let's just continue to clean up for as long as possible. Get a life-changing amount of money in the bank, whichever that happens to be to you. If you have a mortgage on the family home, you could probably clear it by Christmas, or clear most of it by Christmas at this rate, you know.
Yeah.
And then you can pare it right back after that if you want then, and spend as much time as you want with the family.
Yeah, I get you.
You know, now depending on where you are in life and depending on who you speak to, they will probably tell you different things. But like, you know, when I get to know guys, in a lot of cases, they haven't been getting a great result for a good number of years, and they can't afford to take time off. Now they can afford to take time off, but I just want them to keep that work ethic they had when they had no money, and keep working them same amount of hours that they used to work when they were running their business fucking backwards. But I just want them to do that for a year, because that year can get them a massive amount of money in the bank. And if we look at it here now, you know, we've got, let's say, 28 grand plus 32 grand, that's 60 grand plus 15 out in. You got 75 grand. You've probably never had that amount of money in your life, and a lot of people will never get the 75 grand. So you've got that, you know, since February or March. No, February. Less the bit that you had. So you've definitely got 50 grand in 5 months. So let's go and finish out the year with 120 grand after 12 months. Because that's a life-altering amount of money then, you know?
That's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
And give yourself a bit of credit for it, you know?
Yeah.
You know, fair play to you. It's a great result. I'm actually really... It's a great call to have on a Friday afternoon. It is, you know. So, just, you know... Let me give you a quick example. On the first lockdown, I basically set up office in my living room. And my missus says to me, like... There was only myself, my missus, and with the new baby. And she says, I haven't seen you, like, in 3 days. You know? And we're like, it's just us in a house. Because I took a project on and I was working round the clock. And you know what? I made a killing on it. And it was the best thing ever. We bought a house, paid the house outright out of the money we made from that project. We get 2.5 grand a month rent for that house. When I look back now, was that worthwhile for me to do like 18 hours or 19 hours straight for 5 or 6 or 8 weeks? Damn right it was. You know, but it's the whole concept of massive action, and you have to forgo a little bit. And as I do always say, ask the missus, ask the family, what do they want as a reward for supporting you during this high performance time.
Yeah, we said that the last day that I should be doing that more at home. So I started doing it more at home. That, you know, we say every week I come in, I'd say, here's a couple of pounds, go do something, you know.
Brilliant. Yeah, so that she feels that she's a part of this and she's getting rewarded for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great news. Just be very careful, Tim. Some of the fucking outrageous expenses that do get put my way in my house are absolute outrageous. 200 quid for a pair of kids' shoes and all this. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm having a cold sweat.
I draw the line there.
Don't talk to me about that. I'm not going there. But you said this. Yeah, but I didn't say that. You know, Like just you know, when we start telling our partners all the time that we're going to be loaded one day, their version of loaded is like different from our version. Like my version of loaded is having like as many houses as I want. Their version of loaded is spending as much of it as they possibly can, you know. But
exactly.
just look, this is like we're not doing it for ourselves, Tim. We're doing it for them, of course, you know.
Oh yeah, I always say to the kids, like, you know, I'm out working for ye. It's not for me, because like my week's wages goes back into the house. I don't take anything from it, you know.
Yeah, and it's rewarding for you to see the family being looked after well financially, you know.
Yeah.
But there is a sacrifice that we need to make there, and that sacrifice does a bit of time, and that's why I always say, look at, like, if you keep on this level of progress, right? We'll be chatting now in 6 months' time, and I'll be saying to you, Tim, how much? Actually, there's a question for you. How much of a wage do you take personally for yourself?
I take 700.
Okay, so there's a good chance there that by Christmas, if you keep up at this rate, and I'm just glancing over this, we'll look at it in detail at another time. But if you keep going at this rate, by Christmas, you could have an investment that gives you 2 weeks' wages per week every month that you don't have to work for.
Yeah, that's the kind of the plan, I call it.
Exactly.
Passive income, like.
Yeah, and if you do that one more time, then you don't need to work for your wages.
Yeah.
And now you're just
I've actually
playing the game.
The audiobooks on the group. I've done 2 Grant Cardone books, and I'm into Rich Dad Poor Dad now.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, excellent.
So
yeah, which Cardone books did you do?
I couldn't get the 10x rule, but I did Sell or Be Sold, and what's the other one called?
Be Obsessed or Be Average.
I think that's it.
Yeah,
I just pull up Audible there and I'll tell you.
Yeah, Sell or Be Sold is like it's
Be Obsessed, Be Average.
Yeah, Sell or Be Sold is like, there's so much stuff in that. Actually, no, to be honest, I should probably just listen to that again. I haven't listened to it in a while now, but I've listened to that book dozens of times, and every time I listen to it, I take more from it.
Yeah,
you know, it's a work of genius. But the whole concept of be obsessed or be average, like, the title alone kind of done it for me on that.
Yeah,
that's my thing.
No, a lot of eye openers in it, you know.
Yeah.
And even the latest one, Rich Dad Poor Dad, like I started listening to that yesterday now, and I think I have 2 hours left in it. Like,
oh, brilliant!
I was hanging doors yesterday, so I stuck in the headphones, put that on, and like it's just the 2 different comparisons between one fella's upbringing, you know.
Yes, it's brilliant. The Rich Dad and to be honest, you know, when you're going out to do a nice big extension there, Tim, and you dig out the trench and you pour the foundation so that the rising walls go in.
Yeah.
Rich Dad Poor Dad is the foundation for the rising walls of wealth creation. It's not too deep and specific on any particular thing, but it explains to you the concept of wealth creation.
Yeah.
And there's a great follow-up book to that as well then.
Like, you know,
sorry, go ahead there.
What's that?
You said something there, I missed that one.
I said it that, like, more than the other 2 books, has been more of an eye-opener as to, you know, this is how it's actually done, and well, not actually done, but like, this is how I did it. But, you know, like most fellas are saying, I need to get 10 grand, I need to get, like, I know they, like we say, for a 200,000 euro property for investment, we need 30% of that.
Yeah.
You know, how do I raise that, like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's brilliant.
You know, it's a fantastic book. I look forward to finishing it, like.
And the next one, see, it's the reason why that's so good is it's the foundation stone, you know. And then you get the likes of Be Obsessed or Be Average. That's the granite countertop on the kitchens when the job is finished. That's the one that's like, Jesus, that's good, you know. But unless you understand the concepts of Rich Dad Poor Dad, you're going nowhere. But the next book, Rich Dad Poor Dad Cash Flow Quadrant, that's absolutely brilliant, you know. And I'll give you a very quick little story here, right? I something popped up one day, average salary in Ireland 45 grand or 48 grand or something like that, right? And now this is how this is how much I've become acclimatised into our environment. You know, like our environment in the 52 steps, right? We're pushing for 500 quid a day, right?
Yeah.
So I seen, I think, average salary, I'd say it was 45 grand or 42 or 48, whatever it was, right? And I was thinking, holy shit, how could you live on that after you pay your tax and this and that, right? So I put a post on my Facebook page saying, average salary in Ireland is this much money. How could you live on that, right? And then everybody went mad saying, average salary in Ireland, 48 grand, whatever the number was, call it mid-40s, right? And people were like, oh, where would I get a job like that? Give me that job. So the whole population of, the general population of Facebook was like, there's no way that's the average salary because I'm not getting anywhere near that. Whereas I'm like, how could you force your family to live on that salary? Because like we're in our little bubble, yeah? And we're all shouting and we're looking to bag a minimum of 10 grand every month, and you're getting a lot more than that, you know? So whilst I put that post out and Facebook, the general population, the mob on Facebook were saying that's exaggerated, there's nowhere near that amount of money available, because if there was, I'd be going after it. I'm turning to all the lads in the 50s, and I was putting out there as the concept that was too low, because you just get moulded by your environment. So you may as well take on all this knowledge from these books and take the knowledge that we discuss in the 52 steps and the whole lot, because it shapes your thinking, you know. And
yeah,
you're going to absorb your environment either way, so you may as well absorb something that adds value to you, you know.
Yeah.
Simple as that, you know. That's the whole thing, you know. But Tim, that's absolutely great results so far. What I would love for you to do there is, I'd love to just get a look at that make or break for the next call. And now we're into a situation where, you know, Tim's got this big juggernaut going and it's going in the right direction, so now we need to keep it going.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, you know. Is there anything more that you want to cover before we wrap up there?
No, I'm fairly happy with everything, thanks.
Listen, my man, I'm proud of what you're doing. Just keep it. And how many lads do you have with you at the moment?
4.
It's a great result with 4 men. Absolutely great result, you know. Well, okay, keep doing what you're doing, and I'll see you on Thursday's email reply session.
Yeah.
Okay, man. See you at the top. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Joe.
Bye-bye. So, folks, that concludes another episode of the Tradesman Survival Guide podcast. Don't forget that all of the tactics and strategies discussed in today's podcast are from my book, The Tradesman Survival Guide, which is available to buy online at www.joedoyle.ie/TSG. TSG being, of course, short for The Tradesman Survival Guide.